Hello all, welcome to Gurukul CAT 100 series, a series designed to take you from your study room to your corporate boardroom. I am Deepak Nemani and this is Daily Quant with Deepak. Hi everyone, welcome back to day 84 of 100 days to CAT Quant series. In this video, we'll be discussing 5 questions from Quant. So whenever a question is displayed on the screen, pause the video, try solving that question. Once you're done solving, you can resume the video. If you find this video helpful, like the video, share this video with your friends who are preparing for CAT, and most importantly, for more videos of this CAT, do subscribe to this channel and let us help you with your CAT preparation. If you want to attempt these 5 questions in the form of a test, you can log into our portal, thegurukul.org.in. The link is already in the description below. Now, once you get enrolled, you will get access to a course called 100 Days Race to CAT, in which there will be 3 sections: Quant, LRD, and VRC. We'll be uploading 100 tests in each section. So, on an overall, you will be getting around 1500 questions to practice in the last 100 days of your CAT preparation, which we consider to be a good amount of practice. So that if you are a serious CAT 25 aspirant, you cannot afford missing these tests. And these tests are absolutely for free. And without any further delay, let's get started with the first question. Now coming to the first question. The clerk of a school calculated the number of students of a class who had not paid their fees by making a list. By mistake, the clerk also counted some of the students who had completely paid their fees. When the clerk realized his mistake, he made a new list wherein the number of students who had not paid their fees reduced to half, and the ratio of the students in class who had paid their fees to those who had not paid their fees became 3:2. Now, what percentage of students was mentioned incorrectly by clerk? Right. So there are two types of students: students who had paid their fees and who had not paid their fees. And after correction, the ratio was found out to be 3:2. So if I assume that there are 3x students who had paid the fees, there will be 2x students who had not paid the fees, right? And the total number of students in the class would be 5x. Now, how did he get this correct ratio 3:2, right? So after realizing his mistake and reducing the number of students who had not paid the fees by half, right? So in the initial list, there will be 4x students, right? You would have considered 4x students as the students who had not paid the fees, right? Now, after realizing his mistake, this was reduced to half, and that has become 2x, right? Now, we know that the total strength of the class is 5x, right? So, if he had considered 4x students had not paid the fees initially, so the number of students he had considered to be paid the fees would be x, right? Now, what was the mistake? Now 3x instead of 3x in the first, he has considered only x, right? So these 2x students were considered as students who had not paid the fees, right? So these 2x students are the students who were mentioned incorrectly by the clerk. Now what was asked? We are asked to find the percentage of students that was mentioned incorrectly by clerk, right? So out of 5x students, 2x students were mentioned incorrectly by clerk. So 2x by 5x into 100. So these two will get cancelled. 520 is 2 into 20. 40% becomes the answer to this question. Now coming to the second question. A car leaves city at 7:30 am and follows the same route every day. On one particular day, it travels at a steady speed of 48 kilometers per hour and arrives at its destination 2 hours later than its usual scheduled arrival time. The following day, the car covers 3/4 of the distance in half of the scheduled travel time and covers the remaining distance at 32 kilometers per hour, reaching exactly on time. What is the car's usual scheduled arrival time? Right. So car starts from A at 7:30 a.m. and let me consider that the car's usual travel time to be T hours. Right. So it reaches some point B in T hours, right? Now on a particular day, it travels at a steady speed of 48 kilometers per hour, right? So the speed was given to be 48 kilometers per hour and arrives at its destination 2 hours later than its usual scheduled arrival time. So I can say that the car was traveling for 2 hours more. So if the usual travel time is T hours, right, at 45 kilometers per hour to reach the destination, it would have taken T plus 2 hours. Done. So speed into time is equal to distance. Okay. And the following day, the car covers 3/4 of the distance in half of the scheduled travel time. Right. So it has covered 3/4 of the distance in t by 2 hours, and the remaining 1/4. 1/4 of the distance was traveled at 32 kilometers per hour, and this took how much time? Right, reaching exactly on time. So to cover the last 1/4 at 32 kilometers per hour, it has taken t by 2 hours. Right. So the last 1/4 of the distance is nothing but 32 into t by 2. Now what is this? 1/4 of the total distance. Right. Now how do we get the total distance? Into 4. Right. Now which is nothing but 264 t. Right. So the total distance is nothing but 64 t. Then what do we have? 48 t plus 2 into 48, 96 is equal to 64 t. Right. So sending 48 to right hand side, 64 minus 48 is 16. So 16 t is equal to 96, or t is equal to 6 hours. So we have the travel time now. But what was asked? Right. We are asked to find the car's usual scheduled arrival time. So starting at 7:30 a.m. in the morning and reaching the destination in 6 hours. So the reaching time would be 7:30 plus 6. 13:30 or 1:30 p.m. Right. So the answer for this question becomes option C. Now coming to the third question, A, B, C, D, E, so on till Z are the points marked on the circumference of a circle equidistantly. That means the distance between any 2 points is constant. What can be the maximum number of triangles which can be formed using 3 points as vertices? Right. So these 3 points should be among those 26 points only, such that their circumcenter lies on one of the sides of a triangle. Right. Now when do we have circumcenter of a triangle lying on one of its sides? In the case of a right angle triangle. Right. So only in the case of a right angle triangle, the circumcenter is nothing but the midpoint of a hypotenuse. Right. So we are indirectly asked to find the number of right angle triangles that could be found. Right. Now in a circle, how can we have a right angle triangle? For example, if I consider the diameter to be the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle, or hypotenuse of a triangle, or one of the sides of a triangle, you take any point on the circumference. This is a right angle. Right. So angle in a semicircle is always a right angle. You take one more point here. This becomes a right angle. Now this is also a right angle, and so on. Right. So to have a right angle triangle inscribed in a circle, one of the sides should be nothing but the diameter of the circle. Right. Now these 2 points should be known to you. Right. Then now let us consider a circle. We have a total of 26 points equidistant. So you will be having a pair of points opposite to each other. Right. For example, if this is a, this will be some letter, point corresponding to some letter. Now this becomes what? Diameter of the circle. Now similarly you will be having z here, b here, and its corresponding opposite point, and this is one diameter and this is another diameter. Right. Now how many diameters are there? Like this. So 26 points. Now when do we get a straight line, or when do we get a diameter? When you join 2 points. Right. Now if you have 26 opposite points, you'll be having 13 diameters. Right. Now we know that one of the sides has to be the diameter. Right. So from these 13 diameters you should be selecting one. That could be done in 13C1 ways, and that means into. Now we should be selecting the third vertex. Now where could the third vertex be? Third vertex B can be on either this semicircle or this semicircle. Now how many points are there on this semicircle? Right. So total you have 26 points. We already have 2 points here. So there will be total of 24 points, 12 on each side. So you'll be having 12 points here and 12 points here. So the third vertex can be any one of these 12 or any one of these 12. Right. So you have a total of 24 points, and from these 24 you need to select a one. So this becomes what? 13C1 is 13, 24C1 is 24. Now 13 into 24. 10 into 24 is 240, 3 into 24 is 72. So this becomes 312. Hence the answer for this question should be option D. Now coming to the fourth question. A rocket is launched from Earth's surface with an initial velocity u of 6 kilometers per second, and according to the relation D is equal to ut plus bt square, where d is the total distance in kilometers covered by the rocket in t seconds and b is the constant of proportionality. It covers 51 kilometers in the fifth second, right? And what was asked? How much distance would the rocket cover in 8th second? Now, how do we get the distance that was covered by the rocket in fifth second? You can get it by distance covered in 5 seconds minus distance covered in 4 seconds will give you the distance covered in the fifth second, right? So we should be finding out the distance that the rocket has covered in 5 seconds, and 4 seconds we need to find the difference, right? Now in this case t is 5. Now u is given to be 6 into 5, 30, plus t is 5, t square, 5 square is 25b, minus, now here t is 4 seconds, so 6 into 4, 24, plus 16b, and this is given to be what? 51, right? So 30 plus 25b minus 24 minus 16b is equal to 51, right? So 30 minus 24 is 6, 6 plus 25 minus 16 is 9, 9b is equal to 51. Now 9b is equal to 45, or b is equal to 45 by 9, 5. Now we have the value of constant, b's value 5. Now what was asked? How much distance would the rocket cover in 8 seconds? Now distance covered in 8 seconds is nothing but distance covered in 8 seconds minus distance covered in 7 seconds. Done. Now let's find the distance covered in 8 seconds. Right. So that would be u is 6, 6 into 8 plus 5 into 8 square, 64, minus 6 into 7 plus 5 into 7 square, 5 into 49. Right. Now this would be 6 into 8, 48, minus 6 into 7, 42, plus, if I take 5 common, 64 minus 49. Now what is 64 minus 49? 15. Now 5 into 15 is 75, plus 48 minus 42 is 6. 6 plus 75, 81 kilometers should be the answer to this question. Right, 81 kilometers is the distance traveled by the rocket in the 8th second. Now coming to the last question, if 16 power x is equal to 225 power y is equal to 240 power z, then 10 into y into 1 by z minus this should be 1 by x is equal to, right? So we have 16 power x is equal to 225 power y is equal to 240 power z. Right. Now let me consider this as k. And we are given with an expression in terms of y, z and x, which are in powers here. So whenever we are asked to find the value of powers, or when the values of powers has been used to form an expression, always apply log. Right. So this is an indirect question from logarithms. So first what I'll do is 16 power x is equal to k. I'll be considering this and I'll apply log. So this becomes x log 16 is equal to log k, or x becomes log k by log 16. Done. Now similarly, the value of y would be log k by log 225, and z would be log k by log 240. Done. Now we have the values of x, y and z. Now let's substitute these values in the given expression. Right. So we should be finding 10 into y. What is y? Log k by log 225. Log 2, what is 225? 15 square. So I can write log 225 as 2 log 15 into 1 by z minus 1 by x. Now what would be 1 by x? Log 16, sorry, 1 by z. Right. So z is log k by log 240. What would be 1 by z? Log 240 by log k. Log 240 by log k minus log 16 by log k. Right. So this becomes 10 into log k by 2 log 15 into, now LCM will be log k, and we have log 240 minus log 16. Now these two will get cancelled, right? Now what is log x minus log y? Log x by y, right? Now what is 240 by 16? 15s, right? So this becomes what? 10 into log 15 by 2 into log 15. Now these two will get cancelled and we will be left with 10 by 2, which is nothing but 5, and that should be the answer to this question.
Hope you enjoyed learning from today's session.
This series is designed to help you with your CAT preparation and practice daily. We are with you in this journey.
To watch the next video, click here. And to watch Gurukul's CAT 100 series, study room to boardroom, the entire playlist, click here.
If you learned from today's session, like, share, and subscribe.